Welcome back, and of course at 7:30 East African time, we'll be seeing the game that's billed the game of the midfielders, with the highest priced midfielders in the Premier League taking to the field. Chelsea will be hosting the high-flying Arsenal. Arsenal are unbeaten to start the season. Chelsea are unbeaten in October.
Yeah.
How do you see this one, Timothy?
Arsenal, the unbeaten of the season. Yeah, I think Arsenal, Tony, has enough credentials, and we've built this a game that's going to see the top three midfielders, Caicedo, Enzo, and Declan Rice, meeting up. And I think they all want to prove the price tag for their purchase. So I'm really excited for this game, Tony.
It will certainly be very interesting. Of course, Chelsea buoyed with those two wins on the bounce after their early season malaise. We've talked about the issues that they've had. They were affected definitely by the suspension of Nicholas Jackson in the last couple of games, but now he's back and he should be raring to go. Nicholas Jackson in this particular game. Raheem Sterling is another player who perhaps should be looking to start kicking on. He has struggled this season. He had the goals against Luton. We thought maybe that was a spark, and it never happened. Modric is another player that tries to play better for his country than Chelsea. He scored for Ukraine. So we will be hoping, perhaps Chelsea fans out there will be hoping to see those guys in front getting those chances converted. In the midfield, we talked about the expensive players, but it's Declan Rice who has so far shown through out of the three, Caicedo, Enzo, and him. Declan Rice has imposed himself on the way Arsenal plays so much that when he's missing, or even in games where Arsenal are struggling, you know that definitely Declan Rice is struggling. We saw what happened when he got out in that Tottenham game at halftime, and then Arsenal was leading, and then they were pegged back in that particular game. How do you rate his transfer to Arsenal and the impact so far?
Tony, I want to make a comparison between the transfer of Declan Rice and the transfer of Modric. Modric wanted to join Arsenal, but he joined Chelsea. Declan Rice wanted to join Arsenal, and he joined Arsenal. So emotionally, Declan Rice is in the team.
Is in the right place
that he wanted to be. Exactly. So he is putting an extra shift because he demanded to be in that team. Because even Man City came calling, but he had made up his mind that he's going to play for Arsenal. So I think the performances we are seeing, he is already a good player. But even good players have to put an extra effort. Declan Rice is doing that, and I think so far he has been one of the best purchases of the season.
Very, very interesting. Of course, we've talked about Chelsea and its problems stemming direct from the back. They've struggled to maintain a back four in consecutive games. We know that Reece James has now suffered a setback. He might not be making it for this particular game as well. Malo Gusto was suspended, so he's also doubtful for this fixture. We'll see if Cucurella continues in that right back role that he has played in the previous fixtures. So it shows you that at the back, Chelsea is still struggling. They go against an Arsenal side that have been creating chances, not very prolifically, especially in the number 9 position. Eddie Nketiah has not been scoring the goals, perhaps, and Gabriel Jesus also being shunted out wide with Saka's injury in the last game against City. Saka might be back in this particular one. Do you think Pochettino has to bring back the back five against this team like this? He had switched to back four.
Yeah, Tony, I think the back five is the right word to use here because there are deficiencies already on the right wing. Even if it's Malo Gusto playing there, I don't think he is that established to defend.
Against Martinelli?
Martinelli, I don't think. And if they play Cucurella, it's even worse. So I'm struggling to find how Chelsea is going to manage that right wing of theirs. Then if Saka plays, Colwell will be in trouble. So he might need also support. Pochettino is a tactician. He is going to look at that team and then look at his opponent in Arsenal and try to see if he can diffuse the Arsenal attack. I don't think Chelsea will be the dominant team. They'll be looking at a reactionary approach against Arsenal. But Arsenal, Tony, having beaten Man City, this is one of the biggest clubs in the world, but say maybe the best in England. If you can beat the best team in the country, then you should be able to beat now the rest of the pack. And Arsenal will be having that in them.
Arsenal definitely have to come into this game thinking they have the upper hand. Mikel Arteta, for all his respect for Mauricio Pochettino, will be hoping to come and get something out of this particular game. He will be expecting, actually, to get something out of this game. Arsenal fans will be expectant.
Yeah.
So it will be very interesting to see. He's had the struggles with Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
This is not the kind of game, especially that this is his former club, that perhaps you want to bring him back into the fold and try to tinker around. I think he should be better placed on the bench, Kai Havertz.
Yeah, I don't think Kai Havertz, Tony, would play this game. Even the tempo and energy. Yeah, the Chelsea crowd does not always boo or be hostile against their former players, but it's always an expectant crowd. They say this is Stamford Bridge. We want to see our team win, so there will be a lot of energy there. And I think Arsenal with Kai look a bit lightweight. So if Partey is fit, start Partey, Tony, and then make it a more compact team. Because if you look at the Chelsea squad, they have started playing the three midfielders: Gallagher, Enzo, and Caicedo. So you want to counter that kind of energy with maybe a Partey or maybe Jorginho if Partey is not fit enough for this game. But it's going to be a battle of minds and tactics all over the place.
Can Arsenal cross the bridge?
Arsenal can cross the bridge, Tony. I think Arsenal have the credentials to cross the bridge. I'm inclined, Tony, on an Arsenal win, but I think Chelsea, because they are expectant. They won 4-1 away at Burnley. Maybe this could be the game. They know if they win, they will kickstart the season. But Arsenal has more in them for this game.
Very interesting. The last time we thought Chelsea were kicking on, they beat Luton, then they came back and faltered.
Yeah.
Might we see that happening again? I think Arsenal will have the better say in this one. I think Arsenal can beat Chelsea even away from home. We've seen them playing very well away from home. I don't know what happens when they're away. I don't know if the players are more comfortable. I think Arsenal can win this one 2-1.
I've gone for exactly the same, Tony. 2-1 Arsenal.
Very, very interesting. That's the big pick of the weekend. Very, very brilliant game at 7:30. You cannot afford to miss it for anything. Don't go away. We have one more late night affair at Sheffield. Do not miss.